If your hands are closed like this, you're not going to get the gift of vitality, enthusiasm, inspiration. You're not going to get the gift of feeling like life is a game and you're going to play it. We're also going to talk about anything Jupiter's up to in the sky, because he's your boss, he's your dude, and what he's doing, you need to pay attention to. You're going to need to play the game of life like the holy card, the Fool, the Holy Spirit. This month starts the beginning of the rest of something for you.
Lunatic astrology.
Hey there, this is Sagittarius Sun, Moon, and Rising, August of 2026 forecast. And I'm so excited for you guys. Jupiter, the Lord of your sign, the planetary body that rules Sagittarius, is activating some very powerful and very positive energies and funneling them your way. It's rare. What's happening with Jupiter hasn't happened in the same way, particularly a solar eclipse, since 1971, and his addition of flowing with the node of deep spiritual truth and wisdom. The south node hasn't happened since 1990. So you've got some very rare sky, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, in the way you're receiving Jupiter's blessings. And we're going to bring your attention as well to planetary changes, sign changes, as well as retrograde shifts. And we'll be bringing all of this up in our 30-minute video today. If you like all signs content and you like individual stories like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. It does help my channel grow. Now, because you are Jupiter ruled, I'm focusing primarily on the total solar eclipse. It's going to happen in your sky. It's going to be August the 12th. You're feeling it as you come in through the month of July. I mean, July into mid-August, you're already feeling this really intense energy. You know change is afoot. This is not any old eclipse. It's total solar, and it's paired with the south node. And having that combination hasn't even happened in this lifetime. So, well, you may kind of go back to 1971 to experience a total solar eclipse or a solar eclipse, period, in Leo. Having the south node takes you back to the 90s, and that eclipse was lunar. So there's a lot about this month. You might be hearing sirens. I apologize for that, but I can't fix that. You might find that this is the month in which you feel like this month starts the beginning of the rest of something for you. And what it really wants to do is open up a portal of destined change that brings you in touch with the following themes: vitality, enthusiasm, inspiration, creativity, and also the feeling that you have a reason to get out of bed in the morning. You have some kind of thing that excites you, that's deep within your soul, that's been lit. It's the Bic lighter has lit you up. You are ready to be a kid in the playground of life. You're ready to play the game of life like the holy card, the Fool, the Holy Spirit in playing in matter, the Fool playing in matter. There's something about this month that can give you that gift. Now you have to receive it. If your hands are closed like this, you're not going to get the gift of vitality, enthusiasm, inspiration. You're not going to get the gift of feeling like life is a game and you're going to play it. If any book you should read, it's The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn, because the universe is giving you a really once-in-a-lifetime jumpstart in August that will roll through one entire year. You'll be feeling this energy all the way through till next July. Now, one thing about this sky is it is extremely flowing, harmonious, and easy for you. Even the difficult planet Saturn in fall in the 5th house is in a trinal relationship, not only to you as a Sag sun or moon or rising, but so is Jupiter. It forms one of these triangles, and the kind of triangle is a purpose triangle. It's about meaning and purpose in life. It's about following your true path. It's about using your natural talents and gifts. And unlike anything you've ever seen before, unlike any year you've ever lived through before, you have a perfect storm of finding the answers to the meaning of your life and moving into divine harmony with your true path and calling. So hopefully that's inspiring for a Sag. Now we're going to bring you into the chart, and there's a difference between listening for sun, moon, and rising sign. Hello guys, you always ask me, rising sign, sun or moon, how do I listen to this thing in astrology? Well, your sun is who you really are. Think of it about your spiritual essence, your divine light, the flame of your soul that lives forever, takes on a body, and that body is the ascendant. You might think of your sun sign like the actor who plays the role in the movie. Your sun is the real you, and the role you're playing in the movie, well, that's your rising sign. You tend to look like that sign. You tend to act like the personhood of that character in the simulation. It is not your real self, but you need a vehicle for your spirit to express. And when we look at your moon sign, we think about how you feel and think about life, your happiness, your emotional blueprint, your subjective well-being. But you remember the moon is only reflecting the light of the spiritual essence of you, the sun. So therefore, it's a temporary aspect or an operating system for your consciousness. I see a lot of the time that people's moon sign is really useful when you want to see how you're going to feel about this sky, but it also connects you very strongly to energies of home, safety, nest, and mother. The moon is that stuff to do with the nurturant part of reality. When we talk about your sun sign, it can be father related material, but also connections to your purpose and career. For your soul isn't here, it's on planet Earth to do something, right? And we usually call that a purpose of some kind. And lastly, the ascendant, very sensitive to your body, very sensitive to the fates and the circumstances of life. That is where your rising sign is, how you showed up, took the first breath of life. What was the sign on the eastern horizon at the time of birth? That's what the rising sign is. And it's very accurate for delineating astrology, at least until the age of mid-40s. And we begin to move back into our true self, into our solar energy. And we'll notice that our sun sign becomes as accurate, or can be more and more actively useful for prediction. Already, sometimes you'll look at children for the first 7 years and they're operating primarily on sun sign energy. So when you're looking at your kids, definitely listen for their sun sign over their rising sign. All right, guys, here's that short form. Take it away. Let's go into the chart ahead. We'll be here for about 30 minutes. I hope no longer. I'm not covering every single thing that happens. We have 2 eclipses. I'm definitely covering both of those in a light touch way. Second eclipse at the end of August in Pisces. First one, August 12th in Leo. We're also going to talk about anything Jupiter's up to in the sky, because he's your boss, he's your dude. And what he's doing, you need to pay attention to. In fact, before I begin showing you the chart, I want you to know that at the end of July, Jupiter joined the sun. That is called a cazimi. Jupiter in the heart of the sun is a cosmic reset button. It is did happen in the sign of Leo. This is meaning that over the next year, you have new divine mission instructions. You are on a new path, and you only get this Jupiter fueled cosmic reset button once every 12 years. We have so much perfect storm in your sky. It's like absolutely mind-boggling. I find this is going to be quite a beautiful sky for Sagittarius this month, minus a few bumps in the road. Let's bring the chart up for you. I'm going to share using my software here, and we'll get started. So this is the AstroGold software. This, hopefully you're seeing, is a chart of the sky. We put the ascendant at Sagittarius, but if we were listening for your sun or moon, it's as if we rotate your natal chart and put the sun or moon here as if it's the first house placement. We call that derived houses, and it's very accurate. Okay, so you'll see that as we begin the month of August, and we're going to take this week by week, more or less, as we begin the month of August, Jupiter is already well positioned in your 9th house, having arrived here around June the 30th, and he was traveling for almost the whole month of July through your 9th house without any encumbrance with the south node. He was like free and clear till about July 26th of the nodes of fate. So he kind of had free reign over your lucky life in the month of July. Okay, but now we're talking about August. So as we head into August, we already have the south node here. And so now Jupiter is working with K2, south node energy, which is deep spiritual attainment. It's like how you might want to find your way back home. You know, like there's no place like home. There's no place like home. Clickety click your little shoes, because this is the house of God. This is a house of deep spiritual wisdom and truth. And the south node is that as well. It's where we surrender. It's where we say that St. Francis of Assisi prayer. Make me an instrument of your peace. Or Rumi, I'm an arrow in your quiver. Please shoot me, like please use me. And so there is that alignment of the 9th house of purpose, the Dharma house, with the south node's deeper dive into what is real and true. It takes away the drive for worldly success, because it's actually purpose over profitability here. And what you want more than anything is to feel like you're being purposed by a higher power, that your life has meaning, and that you're allowing for that flow to move through you as you. So there's such a beautiful spiritual energy here in your chart. I really say use it, because it's all very rare, very constellating as once in a lifetime energy. So some of you may be called to go back to school in the next year, or to do a pilgrimage, or to move to another country, or all kinds of 9th house things may happen, to publish your book at last. But whatever you're doing, whatever you're up to, it's not the circumstances that matter. The impulse is toward meaning and purpose, and being purposed by a greater power. So as we begin the month, those things are playing out. Jupiter is activating the ascendant for the risings, and that's really good for vitality and physical health. The sun, your career is getting a glow up. and it's also more meaningful if you have a career. And Moon, your home and nest can feel quite juicy, wonderful, and enjoyable as well. Now, and your emotions can be more stable and joyful, and subjective well-being. Cup is half full for you Moon and Sag people over the next year. All right, let's start off at the very beginning of the month. We're not covering every detail. As I said, it's what's most important to your sign. But the first 6 days of the month, it's just more of this little miniature triangle right here. This is the main story. We're all feeling it. It's the end of Barbo's basket last month. It's a rare formation, dawning of a golden age. It gives you a lot of flow in siblings, romantic love, and marriage relationships, or social online stuff, creativity and entrepreneurship and audience. Just a lot of flow for Sagittarius, if those words make sense to you. Now, as we move towards the 6th of August, the Sun will be in a trinal relationship to Saturn. And that will be a nice feeling as well for you, because you are a fire sign, and the Sun is made of helium and fire and whatever else, plasma. So when the Sun is flowing to Saturn, you're feeling ease. With Jupiter up here, your Lord, he's involved. The ease you're feeling is ease and flow in your art, your creativity, your relationships romantically, your relationships with your children, and your relationships with your grandchildren. And even your children and grandchildren benefit from this ease and flow as well. That's in your sky, in your chart. And if you have creative projects, entrepreneurial projects, if you want to publish or write, those things are in an extremely positive frame of flow. It's the best word for it. When I'm talking about the time, you'll feel it August the 4th to about the 7th, 8th. The flow zone. You're in the flow zone in some area of reality that matters to you, right? And because you have Saturn here in your 5th house, he's a bit of in a tough, crunchy space. He's in a condition of fall in a house of joy, and he's Mr. Serious all of the time. So if you find yourself way too serious about life, if you find yourself feeling like all of a sudden life has gotten to be really, really crunchy and you don't know why, that's this story here, right? That's not going to last. That's not here forever. But you might feel that you are dealing with that story, and it doesn't feel easy for you. That's all I'll say about that. When we move forward into the next story that you might want to pay attention to, as Jupiter is the boss of you, right? We're going to bring your attention to another narrative. And that a narrative is going to be something along the lines of this. Around the 9th and 10th, just before the eclipse, Venus begins to flow to Neptune. Now, Neptune is about what we're confused about and uncertain, and Venus is about beauty and love. She's opposing Neptune, I apologize, beauty and love. And this is going to be Venus's entrance into Libra. Let's take her into Libra, shall we? Now, one thing about Venus in Libra, and I really think that you're going to love that feeling, is she's going to bring you good fortune if she can. It's going to be her transit through the house of good spirit. And we got to get this flow going here, girls and boys. I'm not moving forward by the right time frame. No wonder. You can't move forward by a mere minute. One must move forward by a day. All right? Boom. Venus is in the house of good spirit, where we have windfalls, cosmic rewards, pennies from heaven. She's going to enter there on August 6th. And as she does, she begins to, and friendship circles and groups of belonging and people who favor you, and the sibling one older, and your long-range goals, plans, and dreams, and the fairy godmother as in the domicile of that zone. And you're going to welcome her there. She's going to be there all the way from August the 6th, 7th until about September 10th. And as she enters into here, she comes into an opposition to Neptune, and she's going to at the very same time flow to Uranus. Happy, lucky surprises in your life connected to audience, marketplace, marriage partnerships, romantic love, career gains, and actualization of long-term wishes and desires. Kaboom, fairy godmother may actually give you some results. The feeling of when it's most active for you is closer to the 7th, when she gets a little bit more entangled by 3 degrees. So from about August the 7th until about August the 10th, you may find yourself experiencing some dreams come true. But where you might have a reality check and have been dealing with reality checks already is in the house of sexuality and romantic love. You're coming to terms with something there, maybe a reality check regarding fertility, pregnancy, and your relationship to your very own children. And this reality check is now getting some soothing balm from Venus, who's looking over at it from her high perch in her home kingdom. I like this for surprises to do with business contracts, marriage opportunities, celebrations with friends, and just a whole lot of luck in terms of desires coming true. Just be a little bit careful around anything that looks too good to be true. If it's coming through as good fortune and you think this is the golden opportunity of a lifetime, it may be. It may be. Like a friend says, oh my God, I've got insider trading. Let's go for it. I mean, just be a little circumspect, because Neptune can give you, rose-colored glasses. He is retrograde, and he's with reality check retrograde Saturn. You're likely to see through swindle energy. But if some person in a social setting, group setting is offering you, the sky's the limit investment opportunities or some weird thing like that, just be also very careful. Otherwise, it looks like opportunities are landing in your lap and you're like, say, yes, thank you, please. And that's happening for you around August the 6th to the 10th. As we move on to the next month and we trundle through our sky, or next week, we get into the August 11th window to about the 15th, and we'll make some stories up for you here. Not much is going on for you in a very particular way. It's a lot of Mercury action, and you're not really super connected to that planet. However, I'll give you some tips. On August the 9th, Mercury will cross the boundary and he'll move into your 9th house of God. Yeah, now he's with Jupiter flowing to you, your Lord, and you've got the sun up here. So just now, just during the July the 9th? July the 9th to August the 9th, just from August the 9th. So I'm recording in early August, just from August the 9th to the 25th, you and Mercury have a lot to do together. He's flowing at you. Offers for book publishing, travel opportunities abroad, pilgrimages, chances to study or to learn or to teach, being offered, communicated, and negotiated in your world. While all of that is happening, you're going to notice that Mercury is quite activated in his opposition to Pluto. And there just might be a bit of a moment of a information exchange that feels like it's intense, but it doesn't have to be negative. There may be a revelation or a new understanding, and it can have to do with your third house. Information and communication with siblings, a sibling one younger, a sibling two older. These are examples, and information communication exchange. But because Mercury, Jupiter are flowing to Venus, this should be positive. Pluto just means wealth, power, transformation, energy for the most part. But you're getting that exchange of information with Mercury, and it may have some deep intensity with Pluto, right? And you may be seeing or hearing about something being revealed about the siblings or the neighbors as well that you didn't know before. That's all. And then we go forward and we're talking next about the idea that Venus, she's still doing her thing. She's still doing the opposition and the trinal energy. She's doing that for a while. She putters on to about the 12th in that regard. And then the next story we come into is the fact that there is that energetic signature where Venus comes into a perfected trine, not a general vibe, but an exact trine to Uranus. When that happens, we usually get some pop in our life that could look very exciting, very happy, and very like a wish come true from where Venus is sitting in your chart. So the date to put on your calendar is August the 11th. You may experience that surge of unexpected surprise that's very positive a day before and after, but it's pretty exact on August 11th. Put it on your calendars and see where the surprise comes from. Could be from a sibling one older. It could be from your marriage partner. It could be from a friend or extended friendship group. And it could also be a new career opportunity, especially if it connects you to a new marketplace or clients in the work that you do. Okay, so moving on, we have the eclipse on the 12th. That is the total solar eclipse. You'll notice that Jupiter and the moon, Jupiter, sun, and Mercury are all mega involved in this energy. The eclipse will be exact at 20 degrees of your sign of Leo. You'll have Mercury watching it over it, and you'll have Jupiter, your Lord, your boss, right in the mix as well. And the South Node for spiritual depth and truth, and moving into a letting go, surrender, and release. But what you can surrender and release from this total solar eclipse is many different angles. Again, as a sibling, one older house, you could release a relationship with a sibling, or they may go through a major life change. When you look at a big change up here in the ninth house, you may change your spiritual philosophy, your religion. You may change your approach to life in general, the way you think life works, but your dharmic element, your purpose is here. And so there may be a major detonation and a portal to a sense of new definition of purpose in life. And this eclipse will last a year. Jupiter can be the guru. He can be the teacher. He can be the guide, the coach, or the mentor who supports you in this shift and helps you get there. He can represent a body of knowledge as well. If ever you wanted to publish a book, this is an ideal setup in the next year to catalyze the potential for not only writing that book, but marketing, selling, publishing, or agenting that book, for example. Now, this eclipse, as I said, goes back to August of 1971 when we had a solar eclipse in Leo. All right, that's really how rare that is. And if you want to add the south node without the solar eclipse energy, then you have another overlay to 1990 in the summer, right? So think about your life in summer of 1990, like July, August, September, that kind of thing. That also correlates to the time you're coming back to now in some way. Now, after that eclipse happens, don't forget we still have the popping surprise that Venus Uranus are offering the day before, the day of, the day after the eclipse, all around that time. So something good is trying to happen for sure. Absolutely. Don't doubt it. But after we move past that eclipse for you Sagittariuses, then we're going to get straight away into the next narrative. Mostly what I want to mention for you in the month that we're talking about is Jupiter and Mercury connecting together. Those two planets coming into a perfect union is really important. It usually means good news. We're talking about August the 15th. Let me show you the sky. On August the 15th, we'll notice that Mercury and Jupiter are one. It doesn't look like it here because I've got an hour in place, but calendar-wise for most people, it will be on August the 15th. But August 14th, 15th, and 16th, there's something important here. There's a bit of a merger between the messenger of the Mount Olympian gods, Jupiter, and the messenger. So the mailman and the head of Mount Olympus are having a conversation. You could imagine that maybe Jupiter's handing the mailman a letter to deliver. So I want you to pay attention then on the 14th, 15th, and 16th to information you get in some way that's really important. News, phone calls, text, information could be delivered by any of the modern means, like, texts are involved, but it also could be you're finding out that you're going to be accepted at your favorite college or university. You're finding out that you're going to get that visa or passport. You're finding out that you're going to win in the law case because Jupiter is the judge in the house of law up there. You might find, and the sun is in its joy house, you might find you're having an incredible amount of success in court matters. And the sun in the joy house means that you're really lit here with this eclipse, but also with what Jupiter has to give you in terms of the messages that are good for you. I think you might be celebrating. I think you might be doing the Three of Cups in the tarot. I think you may be jumping for joy a bit around August the 15th. This is a house of grandchildren. You could find out your children are having children, and you might be jumping for joy at the announcement that you're going to be a grandparent. If you do hear news of fertility, that your grandchild is having a child or your child is having a child under this sky, then this is a soulmate grandchild or a soulmate great-grandchild, because the South Node says you traveled together with that one before, and here you are bringing that person back from the past. And it even could be someone you've known before who's passed away in your life, returning as your child's child or your great-grandchild, that kind of thing. And it may be a surprise because the Uranus sextile from the 7th house is bringing surprises to do with your children and your grandchildren. So you didn't expect it. Maybe they didn't expect it either. I want to mention the next story of any note would probably be for you to pay attention to how Venus begins to really entwine herself, winking, nodding, and blinking, and all of that, and trying to love Jupiter up. So Jupiter has a powerful witnessing. He's looking at her, he's applying toward her, and she's looking back over her shoulder at him. And this energy is very nice as well. It's during the time that you get that good news information, but Venus is even going to extend it a little longer. So it can be something around the 17th, the star card energy of August. You might notice it 2 days before and maybe a couple of days after that there's a supreme glow up. Now, this is windfalls and pennies from heaven, and I wouldn't discount the possibility you could win some money because you never know. But with the ninth house placement, you're looking at lotteries maybe that are run by government institutions. The other energy that Venus can bring you is some very good news and some very successful energy regarding your career and the gains of your career, like a bigger space in the office, a reward or award, being celebrated for how you performed in your job, in your career, in your space of your career goals and gains. Sometimes with this Venus placement, if you want to be well known, if you want to be a celebrity, if you expect people to clap and applaud you, then this could open up a door for some kind of moment in time where you're feeling like everyone's celebrating your success as well, or celebrating you in more visible ways in the sky. But it has to be coming off ninth house matters, publications, book publishing, teaching, education, learning, purpose. Or maybe human resource department gives you employee of the year award from the votes in the office. But there's something nice for you around August the 15th. So it's a light touch, guys, but it's worth celebrating, right? And with Jupiter being your ruler, right, it's meaningful to you. And it may even involve some celebrations connected to Venus's rulership of, for example, your sixth house of job. So it could be a very professional perk for you, window of time, for those of you who have a profession, who are working. Otherwise, it could be being celebrated in the eyes of your bridge club or your golf buddies if you're retired, okay, for something you've done really, really well. All right, on August the 16th, Mars will square Neptune. This will be running through about the 15th to the 18th. You're going to feel this gritty tension between Mars and Neptune. Usually Mars is not too shabby when he's squaring Neptune because he helps dilute and remove the confusing fog of life. He helps defog the windshield. But as he begins to do this, and you'll start to feel it here, pretty exact, right, on the 16th. But it's building up. So it's on the 16th. So a couple of days before, 3 days after. This energy is like to dispel any illusions you have in life and have a solid reality check. It will be about your money. Mars has fallen in the house of shared resources with others and unearned income. And he'll be in that condition from August the 11th to September 28th. And so his condition of fall means you're going to have some financial challenges, I have to say. It could be separation agreements, spousal support money, inheritance issues, issues with property sale, not getting a price you want, not getting the money to work on your tax structures. Challenges are here. But because it also hooks up to your fifth house, challenges with your children and their money, challenges with your entrepreneurial and creative artistic stories and your money, and challenges with lovers and romantic partners and your money. With Mercury, the Lord of your marriage house, and the house of judges, it could literally, for some of you, be the beginning of separation of assets, but it could equally apply to inheritance issues as well. And so there's a lot of intensity around being able to move forward with absolute realism about what is possible so that you save time by not going into illusion, right? So, I could make an example. You're going to separate from your spouse and now you're looking at who gets what, and you feel like you deserve everything, but like the judge is going to say, no, you don't deserve everything. Be realistic around money and children, money and love, money in marriage, money shared resources, money in inheritances, money in taxes, money in royalty income checks. Those are eighth house monies, and this is a reality check for you. Okay? Watch your stock investments. That could be activated. The fifth house is gambling. Stocks are investments that can be risky. So you may have a really big downdraft. I'm warning you, I'm not your stock advisor, I'm not your financial advisor, but you will feel some intensity here in the middle of August. All right, moving past that narrative, we're continuing on with my little notes in front of me, and we're talking next about how you might think love is hard and money is hard. And doesn't that sound like a theme I've already touched on? This is going to be the Venus opposite Saturn narrative. Venus is going to oppose Saturn, and she'll be pretty well in place for a full opposition on August 21st. You might take it 3 days before and 3 days after that you feel like, oh my God, something is not easy. It can be your relationship with your children, a sibling one older. There may be tussles of power struggles over money with a sibling one older. There may be challenges with a friend, ally, or benefactor not meeting up to the measure that you imagined they would in the favors they offered you. Someone said, I'll help you. They're not showing up the way you expected. This can also activate some real intensity around your creative life and your artistic life, and you literally are drilling down here, like Saturn says, work hard to find pleasure, work hard to find joy. This is dulling down, your sex, romance, and all of that. It's making it really lethargic, right? And so the lethargy is there for you about the sex life doesn't feel so hot these days, or where's the romance gone, or my muse is drying up. And so there's some of that going on for you guys. And you might find like that Venus opposite Saturn is with Neptune, again, another form of a reality check. This could also be friend zoning somebody, or somebody friend zoning you, or a yearning to be in a relationship with someone who is a friend and it's not going to work out. I wouldn't start dating under this one. I really wouldn't. Not with the opposition to Saturn. Something new that you begin now, like a new first date, second date around August 21st, bakes in, yes, like a marathon relationship that wants to go the distance but feels like you're running a marathon with sand in your shoes. So you wouldn't want to start something here, okay? You want my advice. So that's a window. It'll come, it'll go. See how it plays out for you. On August the 27th, we have a Sun conjunction to the planet Mercury. Well, at the same time, the next day, we have an eclipse in the sign of Pisces. Let me show it to you. Both are important. On the 27th, Mercury joins the Sun. This is a mission divine download from headquarters. You're getting a divine download about your career, your purpose, and your visible reputation. I'm married, divorced, separated, widowed. Whatever your status and stature is in the world is up here. And this is also a new beginning and a reset. And over the 4 to 5 weeks that follow, you'll notice that you're starting something new because you've got a new idea, insight, or download from Mercury in your career and reputation space. And you might find that this is also literally a new job, a new beginning in a work-related matter. Even if you're retired, then it's a new endeavor to be of service, especially with the trine from Chiron. You're looking for the key to purpose in the work field that you're in, if you're in one, and this is an opportunity and a new beginning. It happens to start on the 27th. It may not show up fully. If, as the weeks progress, you'll know. It could show up more accurately with Mercury in your 10th house, in his home kingdom, during his transit through your 10th house, and he doesn't leave your 10th house until August 25th. Okay? And so on August the 25th, you're going to say to yourself, maybe something like sorry, let me rephrase that. I apologize. This is the end of the month. He was in your Leo sky from August 9th to August the 25th. He'll be here for about 3 weeks. So kind of go August 27th, add 3 weeks, and here you are experiencing this opportunity for new beginnings in your social standing and in your reputation. I mean, it could even be announcing an engagement or a wedding. Especially because Mercury rules your marriage house. So new business partnership deals, new beginnings or endings in relationships and announcements to the world, but also for some of you, new jobs, new career paths as well. Especially with Venus in the gains of the career, you'd get a sweet spot career offer at this time. The next day is the eclipse. The eclipse is in Pisces. You're finishing up eclipse cycles that began in September of 24 with the first eclipse in Pisces. So now we're coming to the last eclipse in Pisces, and this is an eclipse that is called a lunar eclipse. So it's the moon that's being blood moon eclipse, although it's not that much of a blood moon. It's a very light touch eclipse, but nonetheless, you're going to find that there's something that wants to be illuminated and highlighted to do with your 4th house of home and property. This is a lot like, say, the eclipse of September of 2024. And I believe we had another one in September, yes, of 2025. There's like a spotlight in your house of property, land, real estate, and where you live. And it can be with shared resources, spousal money, inheritances, and family of origin money as well, and legacy wealth. And that flashlight keeps going off with its red light every fall, and this is the last one. With the node having moved over here to your 3rd house, inheritances involving siblings and sibling stories, maybe sharing the inheritance, figuring it out, or inheritance from a sibling. These are things that could show up for you. And that would be within about maximum a year, but likely 6 months of this eclipse on August 28th. I hope you'll stay tuned because I'll be covering more in depth, more about that eclipse in my Sun, Moon, and Rising sign thing. And I forgot to tell you to come to Sky Reader. I forgot to mention I'm a teaching astrologer. Come to Sky Reader. come join me in that class. I'd love to see you there. It's this fall. It's deep discount early bird till the end of July, a second discounted code until the end of August. Oh my God, I forgot all about it. So come join me in my Be Your Own Astrologer, Time Your Best Life class. Weekly Q&As, live calls, evergreen, forever access to the product once you've gone through the class, guest teachers, Discord and Facebook group, and all of that. I can't believe I forgot to mention that. All right, let's continue. The last thing I want to mention here at the end of the month is you're going to notice that there is a surprise. Uranus gets squared by the sun. And so Sun Uranus square is happening on the eclipse. So we can call that eclipse has a bit of a T-square, brings a bit of a surprise. So if you've been thinking of moving your home or changing your home or, selling a home, there's some fast moving, unexpected surprises, maybe even offers, or maybe a significant change in your home connected to business or love relationship partnerships. All right. So Jupiter will trine Saturn. This is beginning to be felt by the time we get to about the 26th through to the end of the month. And it even continues into early September. When Jupiter and Saturn are trining, it means hard work brings blessings and goodness to your life, or diligence and perseverance brings blessings. And the blessings go from your 5th house to your 9th. And so good luck is there for you. You could have good luck with your children have good luck with their children, but you're also maybe potentially finding that this flow means anything you're doing creatively, artistically, or entrepreneurially can really take off in terms of being fortunate, especially in regards to the themes of the word international or book publishing or publications or education. And this can bring up goals and education opportunity or hard work equals success in your educational pursuits. And that's going to, again, 26th of August through to the end of the month into early September. You feel this, and it is what it is. And then last but not least, Mars is going to square Saturn at the end of the month as well. So when you get to the last part of the month, about the 28th to the 31st, something's got to give. It's a little bit of a breaking point energy, and it could be a fracture of a relationship with a 5th house person, a romantic energy ending, a disassociation, disconnection from a child or a child from you. And it could also be a change of direction when it comes to how you use money in terms of tax structures or whatever investment structures connected to gambling, speculation, and risk, or to your entrepreneurial endeavors, and you may be retooling that somehow. I certainly can imagine there may be a very intense moment of hardship in your life or the life of a child regarding money and responsibility, and whose responsibility this is, this money situation. You could be wanting to assign the blame to your lover, to your child, but what part of you is involved in this money tension as well is how I have you look at that. All right. I really did forget to tell you about Sky Reader, which is crazy. So please come join me in Sky Reader in the fall. It's a lot of fun. I think I might have Stella put a little addendum to the end of every video with an introduction to Sky Reader. So let's do it that way so that I don't forget for all the videos. She's my amazing editor. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you around. Every year I teach Sky Reader in the fall. It's always in September. It's usually 6 weeks long, and this time we're going for 7. We're taking it a little slower, giving you a very kind of leg up first week, which we take the pieces of the sky and teach you to read them in a very constructive and well-paced manner. This is my favorite class to teach. When I teach Sky Reader, I always feel so excited because you have learned to read your own sky. You now know what your chart is all about, and you know how to read the basic language of astrology for your friends, family, and your children, whoever you want to share it with. No, we're not professionally certifying you. At Lunatic Astrology, and I'm your teacher, Lori Lothian, we're teaching you to fish so that when you listen to me on YouTube and you're getting all of that guidance, maybe you can also get your own. You know, we don't want to move against the sky. We want to move with the sky. We want to move in the area of our lives that brings us flow and ease, because the sky supports that. And by having a knowledge of what the sky is saying, and relative to our own natal sky, we are able to operate at a new level. That level is about flow. It is about not arguing with what is happening and moving in the direction of what wants to happen. It is so darn simple. Life is full of ups and downs, but if you know that there's a swamp, 2 doors away, and if you walk that way, you're going to get stuck in quicksand, you can avoid that. If you go to the left instead of the right, there's a beautiful meadow with a lake. Why not take that path? The sky is always grabbing us. It's called the grahas, or the grabbers. The planetary planets, like where they're going in the sky, the transits, that moving heavens, the moving stars, the map of time is a map of where we should avoid getting stuck and where we may move forward with freedom. And the grabber part of planets is that they're almost like celestial teasers, right? They want to grab us and make us move in a direction. Sometimes it's not in our highest and best good. And I don't mean in a conscious, malefic way. I just mean you can take something like Neptune and make it all about transcendence and spiritual union and high creativity and imagination. And you can take it all the way down to drug addiction, and destitution maybe, and even things to do with mental challenges, health challenges. So you can operate at all levels of every planet. In Sky Reader, we show you your highest potential. Now, this is an introductory class. If you want to come to Sky Reader to be your own astrologer and time your best life, then you're coming because you are curious astrologically. You're not coming because you've already taken some heavyweight courses under your belt. You're coming because you've been listening to my channel or other astrologers, and you've always had a curiosity about learning, and you've always wanted to learn to read the sky, which is the map of time. So I'm hoping some of you will come join me there, because I've graduated hundreds of students so far, and the feedback is wonderful. And I invite all of my students, former, to come back every year and play around in redoing the course for 75% off, because I think the more you do it, the more you deepen it. We have guest teachers every year. When you join Sky Reader, you get the archived vault. In other words, you can go back and watch other guest classes in astrocartography, the astrology of relocation, and things to do with zodiacal releasing and more. We have these guest teachers coming in this year. Are so much fun. We have a guest teacher about the love codes, Donnie Lim of astrology, learning to read your Venus story. We have a guest teacher coming in about medical or wellness astrology. We have another one showing us about how to choose the perfect day to do something, day and time to launch your website, get married. That's called electional astrology. We have what's your purpose, dharma kind of thing with another teacher. So what we're doing is we're giving you a lot of content. What you're doing is you're taking time to learn, but also to hold on to that content forever. It is evergreen. Once you have it, you never don't have it. If it's over your head at first, it won't be over your head when you take a second stab at it. Weekly Q&As, different time zones, so we can get people around the world in those Q&As. We alternate between evening and night every second week on Wednesday nights, and usually they're at 5:30 or 6 p.m. Pacific time. We also have the idea that the class itself is now happening at 9:30 a.m. in Pacific time on Saturday, starting on the 19th of September. So that's wonderful. We have a Facebook group and a Discord group that we have moderators running, where you can meet other people who are learning astrology, share your notes, and get to meet some new astrologically curious friends. Who knows, you might meet your soulmate there. And we're also taking you through a journey that is sequential, from learning to read the sky to being able to use 2 very profound timing tools to help you understand your reality and begin to move forward with ease and grace. The feedback from Sky Reader year after year has been phenomenal, and every time I teach it, I learn to make it more simple, more well-paced, and more easy for you to grasp. So I'm in 7 years of doing this. I think I'm getting it down finally to a fine art, thanks to you guys. I'm going to show you the website just so you see what it looks like. I'm now moving most of my content to laurilothian.com. It used to be somewhere else at Padaya. If you're there already, nothing is taken away from you. At this point, though, I'll show you the new website so you can take a gander at what the sky looks like over there, what my site looks like. And I hope to see some of you in class. I always say this, and I'm not making this up. You might probably think, oh, that's a sales pitch. Oh, I might not teach this next year. That's not true. I always wonder if I'm just going to retire and start to write books. And my agent wants me to write a book. And so I have a lot on my plate to get done in this life. Legacy is to leave a book behind. So for me, when I say I may not teach this next year, Lori may not teach this next year. Okay. All right. So this is the website, laurilothian.com. If you go /sky-reader, you'll be at the introduction to the course and the enrollment page. We're on a discount code right now until the end of July. Well, it's not a code, it's just a discount. There's 40% off the full price. And then in August, depending on when you hear this, there'll be another lower price, not as discounted as July's early enrollment price, but by September, it will go to full price. So make sure that you get in this class with a discount if that's something you're looking for. So you can see this beautiful website was created by my team. I think it's gorgeous. learn to read your sky, and then there's a preview of what we have going on. So when you get into the course backdrop and you're there, you're going to have like stuff already waiting for you, a little tutorial on how to cast your chart in whole sign houses, free meanings of the 12 houses PDF, and I have what I call your Astro Toolkit. I'm always adding more stuff to that toolkit. You don't need a professional software. You can use Astrocom, astro-seek.com, time passages. These are free softwares. This is not requiring you to purchase professional software in order to learn in my course. And you'll see that we have the toolkit here. These are elements that go in, how to cast your chart in whole sign houses. These are already in the back end of the program. Your cheat sheet pack, 12 signs, 12 houses guide. This is just learning tools. This is all going to help you learn. For most classes, I'll be putting together a handbook to help guide you through each class, which is new this year, kind of a prompts, a questions, things to fill out so that you can use it as a kind of self-study tool. Just print it out on a PDF on a computer. I'll aim to keep it black and white, of course, so you don't have to worry about color. And then we see that the Astrology 101 is we set you up really slowly. I call it the slow start, where we're really going to build the basic building blocks together so that when you come off of week one, you are like someone who went to kindergarten to learn the alphabet. You're going to have the basics in your toolkit, in your understanding already. And then we talk about the various parts of the sky, the big four, the 12 houses, dignity matters. Planets have dignity. You want to understand that. Otherwise, there's nothing you're going to understand without that. Dignity matters. We're also using whole sign houses, and this is ancient Hellenistic astrology. The focus will not be on the outer planets because we can't use them as time lords. And so it's not that there's anything wrong with the outer planets, but they're not good for timing your best life. Unless you want to live 248 years, says Pluto, 164 years, says Neptune, or 84 years, says Uranus. They're not the most timely tools, right? Solar returns is one of the things we do, and we learn about the perfection ages. Now, you may think I know all about my solar return and my perfection age. I don't think you do. I embed in some advanced tools there for you that you won't probably find anywhere else after like 8 years and thousands of clients, nonstop teaching and seeing real clients in the trenches. I have figured a few things out, and I always like to share what I figured out with you guys so that you can also use those tools the way I do. There's always bonus content here. And so you get from me, not to use until you've taken Sky Reader, the birthday chart advanced course as your solar return, the annual perfections advanced course, and how to find people in your chart. Where's my mom? Where's my kids? Where's my husband? Where's my siblings? How to find the planets that represent those people in your chart. That is also a part of a course that I've taught that I give you as a part of your bonus toolkit. Okay, so I hope you guys will go over. I hope you'll have fun if you come to study with me. I would love to see you there. When I talk about teaching, without a doubt, it is my favorite thing to do. It gives me a joy, actually. I remember years ago, I went to see a psychic reader in Coquitlam, Canada. That's outside of Vancouver. She looked at me as I walked in the room. This is like 15 years ago. And she said, teacher, 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 you are a teacher. At the time, I was a magazine editor and a writer, and I had no idea what she was talking about. And look at her today. She was right 15 years later. That is my passion. That is what I do. Hope you'll join me. I'll see you guys in Sky Reader, and let's have some fun learning together. Everyone have a very good, wherever you are, day, month, or year.
Lunatic astrology.